Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. I pray that you are all in the best of health and iman. If you are new, welcome. My name is Nafisa. I am a Muslimah life coach and I support Muslim women with relationship and mental health issues. So if you're interested in being coached in those areas, you can find me over on my website, which I will leave linked in the description box down below. But over here on YouTube, I make Islamic lifestyle as well as dawah content. So if you're interested in that, then definitely make sure you subscribe. You can also find me over on Patreon, where I coach women on femininity, how to be more feminine as the woman that you are. And also I teach women who are about to get married about preparation for wifehood. And I also guide women who are already married in terms of ways to improve their marriage and keep their marriage happy and together using the power of their femininity. So if you're interested in any of those things that I've said, definitely make sure you check me out on Patreon. The link is in the description box down below. So in today's video, we are talking about signs that your marriage may be about to end. Whew, sis, you're gonna want to listen to this video, okay? Because if you are seeing 3, 4, 5 or more signs in your relationship, triage. Yep, triage. You need emergency help. And you can take everything that I'm saying as the signs, you can flip it the other way around, and those are all the things you need to do to improve your relationship immediately. Something has to change, okay? Because I don't think that anyone gets into a marriage hoping that their marriage will die. For most people, they get into a marriage hoping that their marriage will succeed and that it will flourish, right? But life happens at times, and sometimes bad habit coupled with bad behavior, coupled with mental issues, whatever it is, causes relationships to go left. And I really want you to watch these signs so that you realize when you really need help to take the action needed before things go bust. Okay, let's begin today's video. First sign that your relationship may be about to end is that there is no more emotional connection. If you're finding that in your relationship it's difficult to keep a conversation going, there is no laughter and play, you're hiding feelings or walking on eggshells, those are signs that your relationship may be in danger. Because emotional connection is what keeps the relationship alive. It keeps us interested. It shows that there is interest from both parts. It's the enjoyable part of being in a relationship, is the part that protects both partners from things like loneliness and love. It builds the love. So when there is no longer that emotional connection, your relationship is in danger. Again, think about the signs that I've said. Lack of playfulness, lack of communication. So you're fighting, arguing all of the time. You're just not able to even say a couple of sentences without it turning into a fight. Be careful. It's a sign things are not going in the right way and it needs repairing right now. If you want to save your marriage, if you sit there and you think deep down inside, I want to save this relationship, I do, I want it to work, then sis, something has to give, something has to change. You know your relationship best. What needs to change? Because this first sign of lack of emotional connection is one of the classic signs that a marriage is about to end. The next sign that a marriage or a relationship may be about to end is possibly that one partner has little to no interest in physical intimacy with the other partner. If your husband is no longer interested in being physically intimate with you, seeing you in one way or another no longer excites him, there are things you can do to spark it up. There are things that you can do to turn things around. I'm not saying it's completely done, but I'm saying if you're spotting the signs that he's no longer interested, you may be in red zone. You may be in red zone because physical intimacy is, again, a way of connecting, especially for men. For men, they see it as a way of being in connection with their partners, with their loved ones. So if your husband isn't even shifting, or maybe it's you that has zero interest in physical intimacy with your husband, then again, it's a sign your marriage is in danger. Sis, do something about it, or get him to do something about it. Together, the both of you need to do something. Couples therapy, counseling, whatever you need to do, it needs to be done. Because once the physical intimacy dies, your connection breaks. That is why in Islam, it's one of the rights of a Muslim wife that her husband should fulfill her needs, and it's one of his rights that she should respond to her husband when he needs his physical needs to be met. And so when that's broken and that's no longer happening, and you're going through months and months where you're just existing, coexisting together as though you're brothers and sisters, living in the same house under the guise of we're married, this isn't a marriage. You need to fix this right now. It's a sign that your relationship may be about to end, because he may not have excitement or interest in being physically intimate with you, but it doesn't mean he doesn't have that feeling, period. If he's physically healthy, he's not going through any other mental issues that's blocking him from having the desires, then he's still having the desires. He's just not having them for you, or you're just not having them for him. Something is wrong. The next sign that your marriage or relationship may be about to end is that someone else seems more appealing to you than your spouse. If you're a sister out there and you've somehow gotten yourself caught up in talking to some other guy and he seems more appealing to you, suddenly this guy is like, wouldn't life be great if I was married to such a man like this? And your husband is no longer that appealing. Most of what you see about him is all the worst things about him. Your relationship is in danger. It's in danger because most of what sometimes keeps people and couples together in relationships is that knowing, that remembering that, you know what, there is some good about him. I want to be in this relationship with him. And when being in a relationship with him is no longer appealing to you, and you actually have somebody else who seems more appealing, then yes, that relationship may well be in danger and may well be on its way out. Because this is where you get, when it's usually the men, sometimes the women too, but you tend to see the man who's cheating on his wife. This is where he gets very short-tempered with her, when he starts complaining about her, because in his mind, he's comparing her to somebody else. Similar thing with some women too. In her mind, I now have somebody else to compare him to. So these are all the reasons why he's not good enough. And these are all the reasons why I should leave. And now because an option is available, the reality of actually leaving becomes more and more vivid in that person's mind. They're now thinking about, oh my God, and there are men like this other one that seems to be so much more amazing than my husband. There are men like him outside. So why am I putting up with this? So maybe it's best for you to leave this relationship and this marriage, but maybe it's not. Maybe what you're seeing outside is an illusion. Maybe this other person that seems so great to you, maybe they seem so great to you because you're not living with them. You don't really know them like that. They're showing you their best representative. They're giving you lip service, but you don't really know how they would behave if you were in a relationship with them. So just be careful on that note and know that if someone else seems more appealing to you, your marriage might be on its way out. The next sign that your marriage is on its way out is the trust is broken. Trust can be rebuilt, even if it gets broken, but it can take a bit of time for it to rebuild and a lot of reassurance. But if the trust is broken and nothing was ever done about it, there was never any accountability. It's just like, well, it is what it is. You know, it happened a long time ago. Get over it. And the trust is just broken and it's just left broken. Chances are it's not going to take much to completely shatter that marriage, because when somebody doesn't trust you, everything you say is questionable, right? Everything you say is questionable. And so doubts come into mind, and so accusation comes into play. They can hear the smallest thing and they would believe it because they never trusted you to begin with. Again, that's the type of relationship where even if they had a very faithful partner, that partner will never feel at ease because, again, they're feeling like they have to walk on eggshells because I don't want my husband, my wife to suspect me about stuff I'm not even doing anyways. and it makes that person feel very uncomfortable. And nobody wants to live in a situation that's uncomfortable forever. They may still stay for one reason or another, but it's not what they would choose. If they had a choice to be somewhere else where they could be at peace and at ease and trusted, then they would rather be there. So if the trust is lost and there is no effort to rebuild it, yep, that marriage is probably on its last legs. The next sign that your marriage may be about to end is, I've mentioned it before, but you argue about everything. You argue about everything, every little thing. It's just arguing. There's no other communication than to argue, to fight, to accuse one another, to talk in a rude tone of voice. So everything is just fighting. There's just fighting now. There's just nothing left to it. When a relationship gets to that point, it's on its last few legs, because respect is lost, positive communication is lost, considering the other person's feeling is lost. At this point, nobody cares. Everyone's just bashing each other left, right, and center. She gave it to me, and give it to right back to her. It's that attitude. If your relationship is like this and you want to save it, something has to change, because you don't want to be back here a couple of months' time watching the same exact video thinking, why didn't I take the tips on this? Why didn't I listen? Why didn't we do something? Now we're apart. I know that there are times where you should get out of a marriage if it's not working for you, but I don't advocate for divorce without trying. I don't. I'm just not one of those people. I advocate for keeping a marriage going if the both partners are willing to do what it takes to keep it going, and they're willing to work on it, because I do believe that relationships have ups and downs, and it's not going to be perfect a lot of the times. Sometimes you're just going through a rough patch, but if you're willing and you have the commitment to keep it going, then with some support, it can get to a stage where it's better again. So if you're fighting all of the time and everything is an argument, it's a major sign. Finally, I want to mention something, and this is to do with progression. And that is when your goals are no longer in alignment. So for example, sometimes you find that couples just outgrow one another, and that can lead to the end of their relationship. Like maybe you chose this man at a stage of your life where you thought he fitted everything, but now you've outgrown him. Let's use spirituality as an example, religion as an example. Maybe you chose this guy at a point in your life where, he was Muslim, that was good enough. He didn't have to pray, he didn't have to fast. But all of a sudden, you started watching more lectures, listening to more Islamic content. Your knowledge of Islam grew. Now you have children, you're like, oh my God. Or you haven't had kids yet, and now what you're envisioning is a man that can teach you something, teach your children something, a man that can stand and pray with you guys together as a family, someone who sees sense in investing in going to Hajj, investing in doing charitable acts and things like that. But this man is no longer in that place with you. You outgrew him and he was still there. Now you want to wear hijab. He's like, I don't ever want to see my wife wearing those big clothes and things like that. You need to dress and look appealing. You've outgrown him, because now it's a case of, oh my God, am I going to choose my husband or am I going to choose Allah? Am I going to choose my husband or Allah? And you're beginning to see that no person is worth that sacrifice, and that you should always choose Allah. But in doing so and choosing Allah, he may no longer be able to continue on that journey with you. And in which case, sometimes marriages like that do end. They do end because you're no longer who he married and who he's looking for, and he's no longer who you married and who you're looking for. So eventually, sometimes it's just best to go your separate ways. And so when your goals in life no longer align in major aspects of your life, I think it's a matter of time until this relationship ends, unless one person changes, right? So these are some of the signs that your relationship may be about to end. I really hope you guys have valued the content in today's video, and I really hope you've thought about it carefully. Anything you want to say or add to this video, please leave it in the comment section down below for me. And please make sure you share this video to every woman that you know who is in a relationship, because sometimes we don't pick up on the signs that things have entered into danger zone. And a lot of the times people don't tell you when they've entered into these zones, because people are just in their relationships. You don't know what's happening. And one day, all of a sudden you hear, oh, we got divorced. So maybe you sharing this video with someone could literally change their lives in a way that you probably wouldn't even understand. So please make sure you share this video out with others. And thank you guys so much for watching this video, for always supporting this channel. I love you guys so much for the sake of Allah. And inshallah, I will see you guys in my next video. Assalamu alaikum.